Imagine traveling to another country and suddenly realizing the locals do things that seem absolutely bizarre, until you realize they make total sense. From banning chewing gum, to strange toilet habits, to rules about which hand you're allowed to use. Today, we're counting down the top 10 strangest traditions, laws, and habits around the world that actually have brilliant logic behind them. And trust me, by the time we get to number 1, you'll see the world in a completely different way. These aren't just travel anecdotes. They're perfect solutions to problems our own countries are still struggling with. Athlon 10. The chewing gum ban in Singapore. Let's start in Singapore. Imagine landing at the airport, buying a pack of gum, and realizing it's completely illegal. Back in the 1990s, the city was dealing with massive problems. Gum stuck on sidewalks, under chairs, and, worst of all, jammed into the sensors of their brand new MRT subway doors. This caused millions in damage and endless delays. So the government simply banned its import and sale in 1992. The measure was so rigorous that chewing gum was removed from the list of imported goods. Today, you can only legally buy it for therapeutic purposes like nicotine gum, and only from a registered doctor or pharmacist. Strange? Yes. But logical? Absolutely. Would you accept a gum ban if it meant spotless streets and perfect public transport? Number 9. The siesta in Spain. To outsiders, the Spanish siesta looks like laziness. Shops close, people rest for hours, the city goes quiet. But the truth? It's pure survival. In southern Spain, temperatures soar in the early afternoon, often reaching over 40 degrees in the summer. Working straight through would be unbearable. So historically, workers rested during the hottest hours, then returned in the cooler evening. This is why dinner in Spain is also later than in the rest of Europe, often at 9 or 10 p.m. The siesta doesn't just mean rest, it shifts the entire daily rhythm to accommodate the cooler hours. Even today, while modern life has changed the tradition, the logic remains. It's actually brilliant time management. Number 8. Shoes off indoors. You enter someone's home in Japan, and the first thing you're told? Take off your shoes. For many Westerners, it feels unnecessary. But in Japan, homes often have tatami mats, delicate flooring made of woven straw that is easily damaged by dirt and shoes. Removing shoes keeps homes clean and respectful. This transition happens in the genkan, the recessed entrance area, which acts as the symbolic border between the dirty outside world and the clean interior. In Scandinavia, the rule is just as strict, but for a different reason. Mud, snow, and road salt in the long, dark winter months. Strange to outsiders? Maybe. But ask yourself, would your house be cleaner if everyone followed this rule? Number 7. Turning right on red. Red means stop, unless you're in America. In most US states, drivers are allowed to turn right at a red light after a complete stop. Why? The rule was primarily introduced after the 1973 oil crisis. The government encouraged it to save fuel and reduce waiting times at empty intersections. According to government estimates, this saved millions of gallons of gasoline in the first few years alone, significantly improving traffic flow and reducing idling time. Of course, pedestrians sometimes hate it, but the logic is clear. Efficiency first. Would you want this rule in your country, or would it feel too risky? Number 6. Freeze with mayonnaise. Ketchup and fries? Not here. In the Netherlands and Belgium, it's mayo, or its lighter cousin, frittesauce. And it's not just a taste preference. The tradition is linked to the way Belgian fries are twice fried, for that crispy outside and soft inside, often in beef fat, which creates a rich flavor that pairs perfectly with the creaminess and slight acidity of the mayonnaise. Dutch law even defines real mayonnaise. It must contain at least 70% fat and 5% egg yolk. Americans laugh until they try it. Then suddenly mayo makes perfect sense. Be honest, ketchup or mayo, which side are you on? We've already seen some strange traditions but the next 5, they're even stranger, and yet make even more sense. Subscribe to Real Reels now and hit that bell, because believe me, you do not want to miss number 1. Number 5. Sunday rest in Germany. Need groceries on Sunday? Forget it. In Germany, most stores are closed. This isn't just tradition, it's federal law. The Ladenschlussgesetz, shop closing law, protects Sundays as a day of rest. It is even enshrined in Article 139 of the German Constitution that Sundays and public holidays are legally protected days of rest and spiritual elevation. To tourists, it's inconvenient. To Germans, it's a safeguard against burnout and consumer chaos. It also guarantees that retail workers have a day for family and community. Imagine if your country took one day a week to stop shopping completely. Would that be better or unbearable? Or 4. Quiet hours in Switzerland and Germany. Vacuuming at night? Taking bottles to the recycling bin on Sunday? In Switzerland, that could get you fined. The idea of Ruhezeiten, quiet hours, sounds extreme. In many German and Swiss rental agreements, these hours are legally defined, typically between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. and all day Sunday. Even the clinking of glass into the recycling container is considered loud enough to constitute noise pollution, which is why Sunday bans exist. When you live in close quarters, enforced quiet is the only thing keeping neighbors sane. Would you trade 24/7 freedom for guaranteed peace and quiet? Number 3. The bum gun. Forget toilet paper. In much of Asia, you'll find a small hose next to the toilet. To Westerners, it's confusing, even shocking. But the logic? Simple. Water cleans better than paper, it's cheaper, and it's more sustainable. It's also a matter of hygiene, as the water rinse aligns with the religious and cultural traditions of purification in many of these regions. Once you try it, you'll understand. The bum gun makes perfect sense. So, would you dare switch from paper to water? Number 2. Sparkling water as the default. You ask for water in a German restaurant, and they bring bubbles. In Germany, about 78% of bottled water sold is carbonated. This comes from a long history. Natural carbonation in mineral springs, and later, the industrial production of carbonated water in the 19th century. Sparkling was considered both healthier and safer. Even today, in many restaurants, you have to explicitly ask for stilles Wasser, still water, or Leitungswasser, tap water. So, are you team flat or team sparkling? Number 1. The right hand rule. In many cultures, you can seriously offend someone just by using the wrong hand. In India and across much of the Middle East, the left hand is traditionally reserved for hygienic tasks. Therefore, it is a strict, centuries-old rule to eat, greet, or hand over money always with the right hand. It might feel strict, but it's grounded in hygiene and deep respect. This is one of the oldest universal rules of courtesy across these regions. To outsiders, it seems bizarre. But once you know the logic, it's perfectly reasonable. So there you have it. 10 things that look bizarre from the outside, but actually make perfect sense once you understand the logic. We saw that a simple rule can save millions, and that the most inconvenient laws protect the most valuable commodity, your rest. Which of these would you want to see implemented in your own country? And which ones could you never live with? Let me know in the comments, and drop the flag of the country that surprised you the most. Don't forget to subscribe to Real Reels for more stories that reveal just how weird and brilliant our world can be.